Hey Paul.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
Doing great, thank you. We wanted to speak about the AI agent in called customer service. So maybe you can tell us a bit more about yourself and Fold the company for anyone listening that doesn't know what Fold is.
Yeah, absolutely. So, hi, I'm Paul. I'm one of the co-founders of Fold. And so we started the business about just under 2 years ago. So originally selling a folding reformer as our hero product. About 2 years later, we're starting to release a series of Pilates equipment to kind of complete the suite of that. Alongside that, we've also launched our own apparel range and are also kind of launching new studios. Our current setup with business is around 50% direct to consumer and 50% to B2B commercial. So we tend to get around 100 plus inquiries a day. So yeah, that's kind of operating across not just the physical e-commerce side of things, but actually there's a lot of people who want more kind of manual responses or want to speak to customer service before they purchase, as it's our hero product is around £2,000. So there's a lot of questions before looking to purchase.
Nice. And you're also working internationally, right?
Yeah, exactly that. So we are now operating over 25 different countries. So our inquiries are coming from all over the globe. So being able to manage that efficiently and effective whilst maintaining the brand's tone of voice is essential for us, especially as we are very much a brand-led organization and business, and so much of our success has come from building that community from the brands. How we appear from a customer service and response perspective is critical to our business growth.
And yeah, so let's dive into that a bit. So what does customer service look like at Fold? What makes it unique?
Yeah, I think for us here in the UK is that we actually have our own physical showroom. We have our product on site, and just actually every member of the team has access to our product. So for us, it's being able to showcase that knowledge and experience, not just in like our product innovation, but also when we have our customer service requests, is that we go to above and beyond. It sounds a bit cliche, but again, just understanding from a consumer perspective with the release of automated tools that actually probably the customer experience in the last few years has actually reduced, or just, yeah, the expectation is probably higher from a consumer perspective from post COVID, but actually the execution is well below that expectation. So for us, it's always about how can we just go above and beyond, showcase our expertise.
And it's also like a high value product. So a lot of questions like pre-sale and post sales, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have quite a long lead time, one in terms of people's research. So again, with a ticket price of about over £2,000, there being a lot of options on the market, the ability to obviously compare products side by side being much easier now. It's all about those extra touch points that we can support that the customer in that journey, both as you highlighted, pre, during, and post purchase.
Yeah. And so speaking into what you said about the customer experience, speaking about that. So as you were exploring ways to improve the customer experience and automate that, what have you tried and what didn't work out?
Yeah, so we looked at using AI in the build platform initially. So we were using Freshworks, which, yeah, again, we set up all the triggers. We did a lot of the groundwork ourselves internally with, I'd say, minimal experience. And yeah, what we were left with actually created more issues for ourselves and more challenges. One being just the correct consistency of responses and ensuring that the AI could actually understand the context of those requests that were coming in. And that's something that was certainly missed. The other second layer to that was the brand tone of voice, and actually being able to deliver on that aspect was really, really challenging for when we tried that before. And then finally, just being able to utilize it alongside our existing customer service support. So we have a dedicated team or very small team of customer service or customer experience assistants, but it needs to work together and not against each other, and just being able to, again, facilitate that support. So again, a lot of the tickets tend to be quite the similar questions, quite repetitive. There's elements that obviously we introduce into FAQs, but again, this day and age, people would like to have an interaction with someone or the company, even if their FAQs are potentially answered on the site.
Yeah. And so after the fresh desk experience and you were still looking into bringing AI into the customer service, what were your hesitations or what were you worried about before you started?
Yeah, I think it's just that level of expectation and just previous experience of customer service utilizing chatbots, and myself finding myself quite frustrated. I ended up using a lot of my own energy and frustrations on that customer service support, and then it tended to end up I'd have to speak to someone anyway. And had I gone direct to source, it would have been less frustrating and less time loss. Yeah, I think it was just that understanding of previous experience. I guess also we have quite a complex business. We're not your average e-commerce business because we offer some of the physical elements of a showroom. We offer products that are under £10 all the way up to £2,000. So again, those journeys and experiences are completely different, which is reflected in some of the queries and questions we get asked by our customers.
Yeah, and you didn't really run start opening a chatbot agency.
Absolutely not. So yeah, I think just that confidence that there was something out in the market, and I think even when we first were discussing, a bit dubious, and I know I have probably some challenging interrogation questions for you around: is it actually possible to do this, and will it actually work, and is it smart enough to understand that? So yeah,
Yeah, to pick up the nuances.
yeah,
So
exactly.
what made working with us different from previous attempts you've tried?
Yeah, I think one thing that was clear from the off with yourselves was just that wanting to understand as much about the business as possible. So all that kind of research phase and kind of understanding what our objectives are, all the way through to actually, well, how can you execute that? What are you doing at the moment? Looking at not just the basic opportunities of what are there today, and just kind of recreating what we already have in place to fulfill it through AI. But actually, again, how can we optimize those journeys across the pre, during, and post purchase experience?
Right. And I guess one thing that was very important for you was also the tone of voice and the brand adherence, I guess, to your language and to your branding guidelines. So yeah, I remember that was like back then quite important. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for us, what we've kind of, as we've got a very flat structure, and we're very close with our wider team and the customer experience team, and we've got a very, as we say, with brand led. Our success has come from speaking to our consumers how they should be spoken to, and again, the industry is quite traditional, and again, looking at how we can have a conversation with people, and actually we might not be necessarily on the end of the phone, but feel that actually we understand and we care, and we are people at the end of the day, and we have personalities.
Yeah.
And yeah, showcasing that, it was super important to us. So again, I think that that layer of context and being able to deliver that feels still personalized despite it being mostly automations.
Yeah. So it's an AI with personality.
Yeah, exactly that.
Has some from the underlying cloud models.
Yeah.
Cool. So how does it work for you today on a day-to-day basis? How does support look differently now than in comparison to how it used to be?
Yeah, absolutely. So for us, it's improved tenfold. Completely honest, it's transformed Paris, who is our customer experience manager, her world, and just being able to focus on tasks that actually matters more in terms of turning the needle for us as a growing business, and for her to not have to focus on kind of those repetitive tasks and being able to actually fulfill her role and her job. I think for us, it gives us clear insight into seeing how we're performing from a customer service perspective. So what we've been able to do is bake in an analytics tool. So again, we've got, as one of the co-founders, and across the business, we've got sight of actually, okay, how are we performing across customer experience? What does that look like from a volume perspective? And again, how can we take that insight and continue to improve our business processes? And then coming back to kind of the tone of voice and brand, what we can see now is that we are consistently delivering an experience that meets that expectation. One, from that tone of voice and brand, we've had a lot of people having really good conversations. We've with Flo, who is our extension of our team, and she's become a real personality for us. Talk about AI very differently. It feels like we're part of the team. So I think that element has been really crucial, and that's been recognized again from the customer feedback. It's always like, wow, that was a super quick, informative, like comprehensive report response. I've got everything I need now to either purchase, or okay, it might be that actually when things go wrong, it's that first touch point as a triage. And then actually again, it just instead of previously unanswered emails getting escalated and creating further frustration because of a lack of responsiveness, it's again initially putting out a lot of the fires, and then layer that with our existing customer experience team, we can really turn those experiences around. And we found that. And one of the direct correlation and we can see is actually our Trustpilot score. So even offsite around our reputation and customer experience has again increased tenfold. And actually being able to utilize that, we probably kind of our concerns around always around potentially getting negative reviews on there, whereas now we're much in a positive mindset of, okay, we're confident that now as we grow, we can actually improve those standards.
Yeah,
Whereas I think that was a fear before.
that's great. And maybe just like a kind of like a follow-up question on the headspace it created. So why not hiring more people instead of like bringing in AI automation?
Yeah, good question. Obviously, lots of factors. As a small but kind of fast growing business, is all about looking at how we can drive efficiency and looking at how we can again scale the business, giving ourselves the time to be able to do that. One of the challenges, obviously, of onboarding a new team member is it takes time, and we want to give that person time, which we as founders or our existing kind of founding team doesn't have the luxury of at the moment. And so I think, yeah, that kind of time and efficiency perspective is one of the clear kind of outcomes from that. But also again, standardization, which again, and just the level of expectation experience that we can deliver and how quickly we can do that. So I think from our initial phone call to having the AI up and running to where we were at 100% of our initial responses were being delivered by AI was probably less than 5 weeks, maybe closer to 4 weeks.
Yeah, and we also brought back the web chat on the website.
Yeah, exactly that. So I think again, it's basically enabler for us. It enables us to add in more functional features within that customer experience, which again only improves that if someone's looking to get immediate answers. Obviously, the web chat is vital to that. So I think there's that element, and then also enabling what we do want from our team is a bit more of that job enrichment and being able to focus on jobs where they feel or tasks and roles where they feel they're really adding value to the business as
Yeah.
to just becoming firefighters, which can also customer service is one of the hardest industries to work in, right? Especially when you have those challenges and again, not always recognized as a person at the end of the phone or keyboard. So I think again, always conscious of around how can we, yeah, really truly kind of empower our team to do more.
Yeah, it absorbs all the angry customers.
Yeah.
It's always empathetic and creates
Mm.
headspace. That's what we're seeing in other teams.
Absolutely. And obviously, working in the wellness industry, it's essential for us in terms of every aspect of our health and maintaining that. So we want to be responsible and accountable as founders for our team to live life well.
Yeah. Great. So as we come to like closing maybe one or two questions. So how do you measure success with this with Flow? How do you know it's working well?
Yeah, I think one is the interactions we see firsthand from our customers. So I think that qualitative feedback that we get instantly in real time with the responses, as I highlighted before, it's often like, wow, that was a fast response, or thanks for getting back to me so quickly, versus, yeah, well, about time you got back to us. It's been 4 days. So that instant kind of recognition of that is very clear to see. But then, as I kind of highlighted before, the Trustpilot and kind of looking at our internal benchmarks around scoring and really putting some numbers behind to actually see the quantitative impact. And also, we're going through a period where we are scaling. And actually, when we started this project, our tickets were probably low, and we've just gone through our two busiest months in January and February working in the wellness industry, and those inquiries are scaling daily. So again, how can we future proof the business? And this has certainly enabled us to do that. And obviously we're working with you guys to, again, how can we drive further insight so that our customer experience team can really kind of make those decisions off data and analysis. And again, it's not just off feeling, and actually combining that with the insight.
Amazing. Great. So anything else you think is useful or you want to add?
I think for us, yeah, again, obviously working with both yourself and Addy is just the responsiveness. So, one in the kind of pre-launch of the MVP, we had that support all along, and then I think what is most important is obviously that aftercare and having that confidence that. Yeah, there'll be elements which will need refining. That's just the nature of it, as it would be with your own employee. But it's, yeah, that being able to continuously build on that and that relationship for us is started really strongly, so much so that we're obviously talking to you about other projects
Yeah.
outside of customer service, and now we're actually, again, can we use this insight from our customer service experience and actually look at other ways we can build that into our overall business model, and look at ways we can drive efficiency, improve our own business intelligence and insight. And this has kind of been the catalyst for that, and also for us to then challenge everything we're doing to improve processes. Yeah, just wanted to say a thank you to yourself and Addy for making this a very seamless process.
So thank you, and likewise, it's been great working with you. And thank you very much for the time. And
Thanks. Perfect.